Well, Matthew Clark leads the hit-outs in the competition by 25 over his nearest rival. So he's been absolutely killing them, and we'll give him another one for that at 2. Although it doesn't come very clear. And North Melbourne win a free kick. This is young Harvey, who starred last week and kicked 5 goals in the wet. Brent Harvey up towards half forward and standing his ground. Scholl to take the mark. And this could be a cruel blow for the Lions if Scholl can ping this one through from just outside 50 in the opening minute.
Just the advantage of being in the front position. Alistair Lynch tried to loop and spoil, but really mistimed it completely and just fell into Scholl's lap in the front position.
53 metres, he's kicked it well. What a perfect kick. Great start for the Kangaroos.
I think it's one of those things we see in football more and more these days, goals being kicked from around the 50-metre mark. I think because opposition defences are getting back in numbers, there's not enough space in the forward 50, but a lot of players are getting that kick around the 50-metre mark, and more are kicking long and accurately. It's a difficult shot kicking 50 metres and kicking it straight. Craig Scholl did not deviate one iota.
Perfect start for North Melbourne. Perfect start for North Melbourne. Goal just took 20 seconds. Anderson just pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Archer has got it on the second grab, but the free kick has been paid. The whistle has gone. Comes back to Black. Kicks the ball wide. So the loose player has been set up. He's been looking for Lawrence and he finds him in front of Harvey. Kicked 5 goals last week against Port Adelaide. Did young Harvey, but Lawrence goes up towards the half-forward line, trying to crash his way through his Ashcroft, then feeds the ball back. Voss unloaded. It's a poor kick. Still a chance. Johnson, a goal kicker. Quick snap. Through for a minor score. There's the interchange bench with Anthony Rock and Brett Allison playing his 200th game. I think from Adelaide, from the ACT in Canberra, I think only Alex Jeslenko and Mickey Conlon would have played more games than Brett Allison.
Yeah, wonderful achievement from, in those days, a non-Aussie rules type part of the world. Kangaroos have worked it quickly to the forward line. Abraham gets the ball back to Bell. On the bounce, drops short of McKernan. Danny Dickfoss out of defence, but he's kicked it too far. Out on the full.
Pushing the back on disposal, fellas.
So it'll come back to Danny for a free kick against McKernan. Inside the defensive 50 and short of centre wing now. White, good spoil from behind by Blakey, and the ball back out of play.
Such an important player for the Lions is Darryl White. Enigmatic player. I'm just not quite certain when he's going to be at his absolute best, but he can be a match winner. So the ball from Trask goes up towards the half-back line, and Scott takes the mark from North Melbourne. He's looking for Wayne Carey. Started the game at centre half-back. Corey McKernan at full forward. Also Archer on the forward line along with Scholl. Still got some big guns up forward. Here's McKernan. Plants himself in front. Archer was the high flyer as well. Scott just happy to trickle the ball over the line for a boundary throw in.
Well, Archer came into the game a little bit under a cloud because he had a slight medial ligament strain in his knee, but the way he jumped for that mark and then recovered and landed on his feet, I don't think there's too much wrong with Archer. Have a look at him running from the front position, Archer, and then lands on his feet, takes after the ball. That's what you call a second effort.
Speaking of Archer, quick snap, drops short, taken by Kennedy. There's a thumping kick. Kicks the ball out wide. He's looking for Darryl White. Tried to take a one-hander at ground level. Pike kicks the ball off the ground. What a pickup he's been for North Melbourne. Winston Abraham, the excitement machine. Off target. And talking of pickups, he's been a beauty for North Melbourne.
Oh, yeah, he's been a good player. Very, very good finisher. Very classy player. I mean, he played some of the most exciting cameo roles for Fremantle in the years they've been in the competition, but then he's been obviously inconsistent. But as a guy who certainly have a terrific, influential 10 minutes on the game, Abraham's one of those.
Winston Abraham came into this game with 8 goals, 1 for this season, but his first shot at goal was a behind. Longmire punches on. Pike gets it off to Scott. That's perfect. And Corey McKernan right in front, 30 metres from goal.
Got a feeling it was a missed kick by Scott, but doesn't matter much. Forwards always should be pushing to the front position, and the ball will drop short more often than it will go long. And McKernan was the one who read the kick. Have a look. Is it a pass? Well, it's a scunger if it was.
I don't think so,
but
Lee.
it reached the target, and that's all that matters.
McKernan for the Kangaroos second. It's home.
Yes, well, they certainly had all the play in this first 5 minutes of the game. 2 goals on the board. The long kicking down the middle is always dangerous if the defensive team regains possession, and that's what happened with North Melbourne. And McKernan, good goal for his confidence to get the game flowing.
North Melbourne has bounced out of the blocks, 2-1-13. One behind, they lead by 12 points. Again, they come forward, playing in front was Scholl, couldn't take it. Foot of the pack was Scott. Another quick kick down inside 50. It's what North Melbourne does very well. They keep forcing the ball forward. Here's Harvey paddling the ball along in front of Hart. Just got a message from the runner. Pike, the tackler. They'll ball it up. Danny Dick Voss. So good last year. He's found himself back in the quaffle this year. So not in the best of form, like a lot of his teammates. And again, we see the ball just pushed straight back over the line by Trask.
And Wayne Carey started the game at centre-half back. Again, interesting half-forward line. Hewitt provides the height. Scholl and Archer, the marking medium sizes. And Peter Bell pretty much is the 4-man half-forward line that North had started with.
Clark, Western Ferris last year, gives it across to the Brownlow medalist. Comes away from half-back, so Voss. The kick's not that good, although it's into space. Out comes Bradshaw, one of the big young players they've got up in Brisbane. Some big raps on Bradshaw, terrific last year. Kicked off the ground once more by O'Brien. Carey will get back first. Wants to set it up, he kicks the ball wide. Just grubs it along the ground, 2 against 1. Made it difficult out there for McCartney. And they'll toss it back in.
It's the old boundary line's your best friend. That was the polishing from McCartney then, the bouncing ball. He really couldn't take possession because he had Brisbane players about to tackle, so he just knocked the ball towards the boundary line. Start again. Good shepherd then on...
It was Pickett onto Johnson.
On Johnson, and just slightly winded, one would suspect. Johnson may have just been from that clash.
And not the first player this year to be injured by a shepherd by Pickett. He goes in pretty hard.
Does
a very
like putting the
physical
body in.
Ball up. Goes North's way. Lawrence the hand pass. But to a contest. Anthony Stevens bowled over. Through Hart it goes. He flips it out. Scott. We've got 4 Scots today. 3 for Brisbane. 2 of them are twins. And 1 for North Melbourne. Archer really fighting in the clinches hard. And whatever treatment he's had this week, it has been a miracle cure, because when he did his knee last week against Port Adelaide, we certainly didn't expect to see him playing today.
It's amazing what a drink of Leeward's water can do for you, Drew. Big thump forward, so another big chance for North Melbourne. Dick Voss playing in front of McKernan, goes to ground. Whistle's gone. He'll give 110%.
Is that 50?
Now 50.
Struck me. McKernan was over the mark by the width of a postage stamp.
Well, he's pleading with the umpire, Gavin Della, asking why.
The instruction given to the umpires is that it has to be undue encroachment over the mark. That didn't look undue.
Dick Voss from the edge of the centre square to centre half forward, and there's McCartney. Looks a much better player, Lee, than when he was at Collingwood, and also when he was with the Adelaide Crows. Just looks fitter. Maybe not so much pressure on him at North Melbourne as well. White goes short, finds Dion Scott. As Drew said, 4 Scots. There's a plague of Scots at the MCG. Kicks a long bomb towards the goal square. High fly from behind was Bradshaw. Ashcroft should run into the open goal. Misses.
It's the kind of start that Brisbane needed. North have got the couple of goals on the scoreboard, but a couple of opportunities Brisbane have behinds have resulted. They're the kind of things that increase the tension within a struggling team.
Here's Pickett, who's had a terrific start to his season. He kicks it a mile out of defence, and an excellent mark taken by McCartney.
Does he look fitter to you, Lee?
No, I can't say he does. I think he looks about the same. He was a solid player at Collingwood. Bradshaw will be interesting to see. The speed of his opponent is always his Achilles heel, not so much the body-to-body strength. And but as a tall defender, he's quite a solid player. But yeah, a bit what would you say? A bit questionable at ground level against a quicker key position player.
Alistair Lynch beating Craig Scholl there in the marking contest back towards half-back. There's Shannon Grant, who has been the swap from Sydney with Wayne Schwass. Schwass has been phenomenal in his first 3 games for the Sydney Swans. 5 goals last night over at the Wacker in Perth as the Swans upset the West Coast Eagles to remain undefeated.
Dennis Pagan's just done what he normally does. There's blokes going on and off the interchange bench like yo-yos, and Allison's on the ground, and McKernan soon to go off and come back on. Always changing.
Grant gets a toe to it, gets it through the pack. Lawrence is there for the Lions. Inside attacking 50. Martin. Oh, he gets worked under the ball by Leppich. Leppich taken out by Pickett. But a snap for goal is successful by Johnson. And the Lions have their first.
And just started to work their way back into the game a little, the Lions, after North jumped out of the blocks and dominated for the first 5 minutes. They've just started to get a few hands on the ball from these pack situations, and then it was just really a quick kick forward. But it was the Lions players, Johnson overlapping, but really the numbers situation. Ended up 2 Brisbane players onto 1 North Melbourne player, and the 2 players won.
North Melbourne by 5 points. There's been a lot of criticism of the Fitzroy players who went up to Brisbane in the selection of those players. Though I dare say Chrissy Johnson was a good choice. He's kicked 7 goals now for the season. He's kicked one of the first 8 points being scored for the Lions. Chance for Grant, goes to ground, loose ball. Carey strong enough to get the ball out to McCartney, caught. Tried to flick it away, taken away by mighty Mick Martin. Just pumps the ball back to the wing, taken by Chris Scott. Kicks the ball, usually a beautiful kick, looking for Leppich playing in front. Carey over the top, went the big fist. Here's Darryl White trying to set it up, back to Hart, inside the centre square. Ball just flops off the boot. And Carey running with a flight and showing a bit of aggression. And I don't know why. It seemed a silly move.
Let's have a look at this. Well, yeah, I mean, it was really just over-aggression. It was just misplaced aggression that gives the opposition, turns the ball over. Dennis Pagan would normally interchange a player for that kind of action. We'll be interested to see whether he in fact interchanges his skipper.
Lawrence gives it to Scott. This is Dion Scott. Started his career with Sydney. Broke a bone in his neck in a surfing accident. He missed a lot of football. He's had a lot of operations. And here's another 50 metres.
KB, that one was paid because Wayne Carey was actually having a go at David Howlett over the previous free kick. And another undisciplined action by Carey has resulted in his team paying a further penalty, and this kick will be taken from the goal line.
The Lions in front.
Now, John, the captain is entitled to question the umpire, but is he entitled during play in the middle of a quarter?
I think the bottom line there is, Drew, that wouldn't have been a question. That would have been a comment, and it would have been aggressively put. And it would have been put with a few expletives, I'd suggest, for David Howlett to react that way. If it had been framed as a question, I'm sure there would not have been a 50-metre penalty paid.
I'm just surprised at the initial action of Wayne Carey. I can't see what the reason was for him to sort of give, be well, aggressive towards Lawrence.
Misplaced aggression, simple as that, wasn't. On that occasion, it was being aggressive when there was no aggression really warranted.
It's as though Lawrence came into the game with a list of priors. Hand pass by Voss. The kick by Scott is smothered. Hart mops up. Dispossessed. Gee, they're going in hard. Ashcroft goes to ground. And it's a push in the back. Free kick goes to Marcus Ashcroft. North fans not happy. Ashcroft from half-back. Out towards centre wing. Beautifully delivered kick. And the mark, or the free kick to Brad Scott. To brother Chris. Finally, the twins get together and play a game of league football together. Well, Lynch drops a sitter. Brad Scott, a centering ball, dropping short of full forward. Leppich is there. Comes to the front of the pack. Stevens, he's diving at it. And he's holding it, says the umpire. Well, that's the way they've been interpreting it this year.
Yeah, as you said, Drew, I mean, once Allison or Archer dived on the ball like that, then the obligation is on him when he is tackled legitimately to immediately punch the ball clear. Not just try to punch it clear, he must successfully punch the ball clear from underneath his body once he's elected to dive on it like that.
And John, the fact that there was 3 Brisbane players lying on top of him really is irrelevant, isn't it? He dived on the ball, so that's his choice.
That's exactly right, Lee. Once he elects to dive on the ball or drag it in, the fact that he's surrounded by opponents and can't get the ball out makes no difference. If one of those opponents lays a legal tackle and he doesn't immediately hit the ball clear, then bad luck.
Chris Johnson with the free for his second goal, 49 metres out. Good looking kick. Oh, it's just about right over the right-hand goalpost.
It's touched. It's been paid touched.
Touched by the man on the mark. So 1-2 to Chris Johnson.
Just, fellas, I'd just like to add in, there's not a problem with that rule as long as it's consistently applied, and it just seems to be applied in some games and not in others.
Well, wasn't that good work by Byron Pickett on the mark?
Absolutely.
Outstretched fingertips, just saved a goal.
It's working the mark, KB, isn't it? It's
Absolutely.
Terrific work, yeah.
Terrific play by
Not
Pickett.
just standing there minding your own business, he's made it hard.
Carey from half back, that's a beautiful kick. Scholes the target. Looked like he should have got the free kick, pulled to the ground.
I reckon Craig Scholes' mobility is going to trouble Alistair Lynch across there.
Big roar went up from the North Melbourne supporters. When Scholes got the free kick, the ball will come back.
It's an interesting decision. Lynch is out at centre-half back there on Scholes, and it was just because he was a bit late. He couldn't quite get there in time to spoil legally, so he's just really gone at Scholes' body and given away the free kick.
Now, one would think Shaw would just put this to the front of the square, which would give Corey McKernan the chance to have the big fly. And there's Carey over the top.
The even bigger fly. They were queuing up the North Melbourne big fellas, weren't they? It was a question of who might just time it and judge a little better. And he is playing centre-half back, Carey. He's just taken the big run forward. Have a look at this. They're all up, but he's up the highest and the strongest.
So there is a great pack mark.
Well, that is the quintessential definition of a pack mark.
That is.
Carey from 15 metres out. Pops it through.
Well, I don't know whether you can ever really make up for things in football, but certainly Carey basically gave Brisbane a goal, their second goal. Well, he's certainly got the one even a back up on the scoreboard by just absolutely winning a contest. This is just a question of all the half a dozen players jumping for the ball, Carey was good enough to take it.
So Wayne Carey, who kicked the goal, takes up his position again at centre-half back, and here he is playing on Dion Scott. Out wide to Johnny Longmire. Ball sits up beautifully for him, and he gains some ground to half forward. Archer moving all right for a man with a crook knee. Ball, I think, just over the line for throw. Well, the crowd who had a good view are not happy with that decision. I wouldn't want to overrule from here. Matty Clark dominating the hitouts this year, not only for his team but for the competition. To Michael Voss, spun in the tackle. Well, White left it for a teammate who wasn't ready. Clark under the hammer. Well, they get out of it. Brad Scott, short pass. Ashcroft at left half back. Kick by Ashcroft over the wing. McCartney might have interfered. He gets the ball out of bounds away from Bradshaw, and a throw in. North by 4 points.
So currently 23 degrees, the minimum is 21. So beautiful day for football in Melbourne. Pike pushing and shoving along with Clark. Hart got his hands on the ball, but he shoveled it out, and Anderson will take it. They've played advantage. Pike comes away down towards the half-forward line. Scholl, this time in front, does well, kept the ball alive. Harvey goes to ground. Pike, presence of mind, beautiful hand pass back out towards Archer. Didn't really hit a target in Bell. Here come the runners looking for Anderson. Hart did well. Under pressure, heads for the line. Black stands his ground. Bell comes over the top, thumps it over the line.
He interesting situation, I think. Wayne Carey essentially playing centre-half back, but I think John Longmire, after doing the ruck duties, is dropping back into defence and just allowing Carey to play something as an on-ball ruckman.
And catch all the action on the AFL website. Chance for Harvey. Across the face of goals and through for a minor score. Kicked 5 goals against Port Adelaide last week. Looks like he's a very dangerous on-baller.
5-point lead to the Kangaroos. And we look down the ground from behind the goals as the kick in comes. And Simon Black takes the mark. Not a great kick. Gets out of it. O'Brien the hand pass away to Ashcroft. To Clark. Hart. No great distance. North Melbourne seem to kick the ball so far. There's probably not a team in the competition who go as long as North. Carey. Even just round the corner, he's poked that ball 45 metres for Harvey to mark. To centre half forward in space, Grant marks. This might test him for distance. McKernan in the goal square and Scholl. Not a bad couple of options. A Shepherd will be handy. That's a goal. Well, that's living proof of how long North do kick the ball.
They do, and again we've seen another goal from around the 50-metre mark. It's just North, I think, are quite happy from out there just to go at the goals. Harvey was a good use to Grant. I think Grant said, well, I'll have a crack at him. If it doesn't make the distance, I've got marking options forward. Had McKernan down there and Scholl. But really good teamwork by Scholl to shepherd it through.
North Melbourne by 11 points. Shannon Grant's first goal. He was in the swap for Wayne Swash, who booted 5 goals against the Eagles last night. He's a fine young player, Grant. Stevens kicks the ball down once more to the half-forward line. Lynch got his hands on the ball first. Voss across half-back. Chips the ball wide, looking for a kind bounce. There's White. Then just thumps the ball back. McCartney from behind. Bradshaw goes to ground. Stevens. North Melbourne with the numbers. Blakey under pressure. Tumbles the ball back. Scholl happy for the ball to go over the line.
But even when White went for a long kick, it was about a 40-metre kick.
Well, North Melbourne's recognised as the best long-kicking side in the competition, and always under pressure they'll go for distance. But it helps when you've got the likes of McKernan and Archer and Wayne Carey and Capuano on the forward line. Here's Rock. Started on the interchange bench, hooks at the half-forward line. Archer went thump. Longmire couldn't handle it. Loose ball, Rock. It's a wild hand pass. And Lynch takes it over. They'll toss it back in. 26 plays, 15.
Just under 6 minutes left at quarter time at the MCG. McKernan wins in ruck. Trask, and towards the boundary line off Voss. Congratulations, Michael Voss, today, 100 games. Clark against Capuano. Comes to Hart. Stevens approached the ball hard. It was clean bowled. And it's out of bounds right in the middle of the interchange gate, down below the commentary position. Brisbane Lions hit the front earlier in the quarter, but now trail by 11.
There's Johnny Longmire, who's taking a break. Capuano has come onto the ground. Clark puts the ball out. Beaten that time was O'Brien. Taken away by Pike. Pumps the ball back inside the centre square, and there's Kennedy. Been an honest player for the Lions. Usually a thumping kick is one Lions player who can really get good distance. Under pressure was Bradshaw. Pouncing on it was Stevens. Heads for the line. Too much carry on the ball.
And he does use the interchange, does Dennis Pagan. We haven't even got towards the end of the first quarter, and every one of the 22 players for North Melbourne's been on the field. All 4 of their interchange have had a spell on the ground.
Trask, one of the young players of the Lions. Clark, still on centre wing. Best and fairest winner last year. Again to the true centre half forward position. Just wonder whether they got the marking power up there to just bomb the ball towards centre-half forward. Thumped on again. North Melbourne very strong. Archer. Hart has the ball smothered by Pike. Desperate play by North Melbourne. It's been a great pickup. Martin Pike, centre wing of the MCG, goes short, looking for Carey, who's been a star in this first term. He's already taken 3 marks, 7 possessions, and kicked a goal from centre-half back. The ball's forced over the line, and a free kick is going to North Melbourne.
Deliberate out of bounds.
McKernan. Again, good distance. Couldn't take the mark. Loose ball again, Scholl. Tried to flick it out to Abraham. Couldn't handle it. Lynch from that last line of defence goes wide and finds McDonald. So the youngster, 200 centimetres. Bo McDonald has the ball thumped back. Grant can set it up for North Melbourne. Finds Harvey on 50. He's a goal kicker. Bangs it away and drills it.
I think you said it, Kevin. He is a goal kicker. Another goal from around the 50-metre mark. They just don't mind slotting them through from out there. And Harvey, as soon as he knew this was really a bad kick by McDonald, it set up the turnover. And as soon as he got it, he had space. He was going at the goals, young Harvey, and really split the centre. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Good effort.
North Melbourne with a bit of a break now. First game of Bo McDonald won't be all that wrapped with his first kick in league football. They turned the ball over and Harvey kicked a long goal for North. Near the centre circle, and the umpire's letting it go as they did in the twilight game yesterday at Waverley. They wait a long time for the whistle. Here's McDonald again, out to Hart. Kick by Hart, dropping short. Mick Martin should have taken the mark. Bradshaw taps the ball back. Matty Clark gets his arms free. Ashcroft, 30 metres out from goal. Lepic, and he's missed from about 25.
He's strange, Mick Martin. When he does get in the front position, he really looks very uncomfortable at actually making, you know, that really simple mark. He's much more at ease when he's behind and doing the spoilie. He's not used to marking from the front spot, and when he does attempt it, it looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah, good point. What am I doing here? I shouldn't take the mark.
He's hard to score against, though. There's Big McDonald. That's a good sign for the Lions. Bo McDonald, nephew of Gary and Alan Sidebottom. Great players. Played at North Melbourne and also St Kilda. Down at Geelong as well. Missed the bus once. Hand pass over the top. Johnson takes the ball straight back over the line.
I was going to say, it looked like he was going to kick it out in the full, but at least he ran out before he kicked it. But wasn't a terribly good effort then to keep the ball alive in your own forward line, I wouldn't have thought.
He's having a good duel with Byron Pickett. Chrissy Johnson's kicked 1 goal, 2 in this opening term. 5-2-32 North Melbourne, Brisbane 2-4-16. Ashcroft in his 10th season to White. Kicks to the front of the square. So a chance for the mark, and he's got it, is Bradshaw.
Held his ground well, didn't he, then Bradshaw? Talked about, you would think that McCartney is bigger and stronger, but he just was able to just hold McCartney from coming right back with one arm and control the ball with his right hand. So that was a good effort to mark that 50-50 ball 10 metres out from goal.
Such an impressive young player last year, Bradshaw. Played at both ends of the ground. He's a goal kicker as well, and he pops it through.
Well, what would I know? But I wouldn't even flirt with him in the back line. He's such a good kick for goal.
Yes, it was interesting early in the pre-season. He was given a go, maybe just to round off his football education, but he is a dangerous goal kicker, and they've got Lepic and Scott. Well, Scott's been interchanged now, so Bradshaw and Lepic and now Clark given a spell. The marking options in the forward line for Brisbane. McDonald now been put onto the ball as the ruckman.
So in the ruck for the Lions, Bo McDonald, an 18-year-old from Swan Districts in WA, and he wins the hit out. Keeps on going with it too, gets it going Brisbane's way. Abraham back to Carey though. Drop mark by Pike in the middle of the ground. Anderson back to Pike. Oh, he took too long. He decided on the second option where he only had time for one.
Yeah, I think that centre pitch area there is very hard. Players have a lot of trouble keeping their footing in there. It's a bit like tippy toes trying to keep your balance.
Kick by Lawrence, up to Johnson. Darryl White going past. Hoists it very high. Bradshaw! Big climb. Comes to the front. Oh, it would have been handy had he taken that. He got there. He got to the position to take the mark. It's a big leap over
Clark. Big jump, wasn't it? But a good spoil by McCartney. Saw the danger and got the fist to the ball, the spoil.
Lions down by 10 points. And just over a minute remaining to quarter time. Pickett taking it all the way to the line. Byron Pickett, who won the nomination for the Norwich Rising Star last week for his performance in the wet in Adelaide.
Played 21 games in the reserves last year, Byron Pickett for North Melbourne, grabbing his chance. Martin Pike had it, lost it. White, tackled by Pickett. Carey, so strong across half back. Again gets good distance with the ball. Numbers should win out. Lynch can rocket the ball wide, looking for Scott. Brad Scott tries to get the ball back. Archer intercepted it. Read it beautifully. Kicks long. The race is on. Here's Harvey, the danger man. This is great play by Harvey. He's going to kick a goal. Sensational play.
Gee, and one day he might be spoken of in the same terms as the other Harvey. The medal.
He knew what he was doing here. He was hemmed in the boundary. Let's have a look at this. It was really the turnover again, and Archer will kicked it forward. And as he's heading to the boundary, he knows he can't take possession. Just the wrong foot. Oh, I don't know whether he grabbed it and threw it out, to be honest. It was either a knock back into his path or a get it, and that would have been an interesting call. I don't know whether you saw it down there, John, but
yes.
He almost grabbed it and threw it out.
Yeah, I reckon he did. I think he did a Kevin Bartlett of old and should have been penalised for throwing it.
I saw that he had a sneaky look at the umpire.
Yeah.
Overrun by Abraham in the middle, right on the cricket pitch area. Hard work in there. Scott for North Melbourne. Oh, Archer controlled it with one hand and then brought it down with two. Great player. Lead by McKernan. Right on the siren. In the nick of time for Corey McKernan.
Not only has he paid the mark, he's paid the 50-metre penalty by the look of it.
Oh, yes, this is a certain goal.
Now, fellas, the reason the siren's continuing is because the umpire hasn't acknowledged it yet, which would seem to indicate a lack of composure. I think that should be acknowledged as soon as you hear it.
Well, that's Gavin Della. And he paid the 50 metres. McKernan goals after the siren. A killing blow for the Brisbane Lions. McKernan too. And all of a sudden, it's a pretty handy lead here for North Melbourne at the MCG. A 7-goal opening quarter, and he marked that about half a second before the siren.
Yes, and then it was Scott falling all over the back. I think is where the 50-metre penalty came. Let's have a look at this. Just a bit over-aggressive falling on McKernan. That's the way Gavin Dalla interpreted that, John Russo, by the sound of it.
Well, John Northey's got plenty to say here at quarter time. They do have a poor record, the Brisbane teams, when they've come down to the MCG. They've won just 4 times here, and 2 of those were in their very first season, 1987. But at quarter time, they trailed North by 22 points. It's 7-2 to 3 goals 4.
Disciplined play by Wayne Carey, and made sure that Wayne Carey understood that. But on the whole, I still think we've got a very good contest here, and the Lions are still very positive.
Thanks, John. Yes, at quarter time, it seemed as though Dennis Pagan was the coach who was 4 goals down, not the other way around. Michael Voss bursts out of the middle. Bradshaw! Oh, not quite. No mark taken. Kick out of defence by Blakey, clears the 50. Anderson gets to it. The Brownlow medalist from last year. Kicks around the boundary line. A very clever kick. In fact, it's kept in by Hewitt until he is unceremoniously thumped and will get a free kick, I think, here against Kennedy. Hewitt was in a pretty vulnerable position there.
Yes, really nothing was going to happen here but a free kick, was it? He just sort of went all over his head and upper body.
So Hewitt's kick's been marked by Lynch. So North Melbourne has doubled Brisbane's score, 44 plays, 22. Lawrence, tough player for the Lions. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. Johnson playing in front. He's kicked a goal. He's been dangerous in the first quarter against Pickett. Ashcroft does well, try to weave his way out of trouble. Had it, lost it. It's all tied up. It's tough in the clinches. Dumped was Scott. Again, Grant had it, lost it. Going to ground was Black. Lepage gets some distance with his handball. Pickett, quick from half-back, does well. Kicks the ball wide, out towards centre wing. And Danny Dickvoss playing in front of McKernan. Takes a good grab. And a rock on the boundary line. Just getting some attention there. And Mighty Mick playing in front of Bradshaw.
Rock was dropped last week for the first time since Dennis Pagan's been the coach. Interesting one, that, a state rover. But I'll tell you this, Harvey's going to put some pressure on the little blokes.
Well, I'm not quite certain whether he had a very good pre-season, Anthony Rock. I think he had some injury problems. McCartney on the burst from half-back. A beautiful kick. Looking for Winston Abraham, bundled out of the way that time by Chris Scott.
Scott at half-back. Lawrence near centre wing, crunched by Archer. 50 metres.
He does make them earn them, Glenn Archer, but I think really good umpiring. The player had marked the ball, and Archer was just a little bit too over-aggressive from the front spot. He was never going to spoil the mark.
Exactly as you called it, Lee. I mean, the mark had been taken by the time Archer came in, and Archer remonstrating now, but he certainly knew he was going to be late.
Well, Carey's gone from him. Archer's gone for him. I'll bet you there's some history to this. Scott.
Hasn't been around the league seen that long, young Lawrence. I don't know whether there's too much history there.
And it was out for a long time with a knee operation.
He's only played 25 games. He's been very busy in the 25. If there's a bit of history there, Drew.
Doesn't it make you suspicious when he's in the first 32 minutes he's crunched twice?
Yeah, maybe so.
Brad Scott, 49 metres out. And just offline, grazed the post behind.
Going quite well, Brisbane. They're behind on the scoreboard, but in general play, they're not doing too bad. It's just the North are actually in the first quarter were just able to score too easily from the amount of times they've gone forward. But and Brisbane, conversely, are really working very hard for their scores.
44 plays 23. Archer went up before acceptances. Black. You see there giving away the free kick to Black, who goes short and finds Johnson. So Chrissy Johnson from just outside of 50 kicks a long bomb. This is right to the line. Mickey Martin nearly took a one-hander. It's been forced through for a behind.
Yes, in the first quarter, statistically, and they don't mean much, the scoreboard's the only thing that counts, but had 17 more possessions than Brisbane. Of course, North, it's not unusual for them. They don't necessarily have as many possessions of the opposition. They tend to kick the ball much longer and score well from lesser number of touches of the ball.
Martin Pike's the target, and he's got it. He beat 3. Off and running. Daylight second. Pike thumps the ball inside 50. It's a wobbly old kick. Chris Scott across half-back. He could give it to Champion, who's loose. He's been ignored. He goes for the longer option. This is a great kick. Finds Lawrence. He's on the edge of the centre square. Bradshaw's the target in front. Thumped away by Blakey at ground level. Johnson's pounced on it. He's kicked a great goal. He's kicked 2.
Yes, that was a good bit of play overall then by the Brisbane team. Scott read the ball and marked it when North went forward from Pike. And he went the long option here, not the short option to Champion in between, but the longest free option, always the best one. And Lawrence, the lead was a good one, but it was a good spoil. And then the perfect crumbing position was Johnson, straight in front of his teammate, turned from the 50-metre mark and goal.
Margin back to 14 points. Uncontested in the middle, Longmire, but he gave it straight up to Brad Scott. His kick goes to half forward. Bradshaw got first and third touches, missed out in the second. No mark, a baller.
Some good signs for the Lions early in this second quarter.
Yes, I think with after North, as I said, North scored really well in the first quarter, but Brisbane have been pretty competitive. They just need to be able to get on turns on the scoreboard. That's what the thing will eventually count.
Flip back to Scott. Uses support. The hand pass was pretty lively. Black off the left. Great disposal. In a bit of space is Hart. He approaches the 50. Will he kick for goal or centre? He goes for the across the face. I think he went for the score and kicked a minor score.
Really
13 the diff.
Wasn't a very good shepherd by Ashcroft, did he? Didn't give the amount of protection that Hart maybe should have got.
Grant took the kick out from Pickett and gets 50.
A lot of 50-metre penalties today at this point, and I think most of them being warranted, so might be just a little bit of aggro amongst the players today. Might be the atmosphere, Drew.
No, I think Drew might be right there. There certainly is a lot of feeling between the two sides. Kicks the ball wide, finds Harvey, who's already booted 2 goals. Kicks the ball down towards centre-half forward. There's the high-flying and big fist of Alistair Lynch. Kicked off the ground by Kennedy. Clean bowled was Black. Chance now. Rock can snap a goal and does.
He had just come on the ground to replace Hewitt. He'd been there about 40 seconds.
And I think young Simon Black overran the ball. We have a look here in the spoil. Now Black, number 20 there, should be able to clear the ball, but he left it behind. And once he left it behind, you're really got to take the ball first grab. Rock was good enough to actually just sweep up the crumbs and kick the nice left foot goal.
Anthony Rock, the goal scorer for the Kangaroos, just fresh off the bench. They get their first for this second quarter. Leppich tried to knock the ball on, but it hit Carey. Comes to Anderson, to the front edge of the centre square. Knocked back to the cricket pitch area. Voss, Lawrence, quick hands. Scott, this is Brad Scott. And Champion right in front. So the Lions really having a dip here in this second quarter and not out of it by any stretch.
Brad Scott has really improved enormously in his 12 months of football. He became a very good player for Hawthorn last year, was recruited by Brisbane to join his twin brother Chris up in the Brisbane team, and he's been out of the side the last week or two through injury, and certainly I think he's been very, very lively today.
Richard Champion right in front, 40 metres out, has goal.
And all came from that centre square work. Good clearance by Brisbane. That was the quick hands in there. The Voss, a few players such as Voss, Lawrence, Scott. And Scott, it had to be really a pinpoint weighted pass. Champion only had a little bit of space to work in. But it was a good effort by the 4 Brisbane players who touched the ball after that centre square ball up.
Dion Scott's at full forward now. Mickey Martin has picked him up. Wayne Carey's picking up Justin Leppich at centre-half forward, and Richard Champion's on the flank. So they've rearranged their forward line. Tristan Lynch just on the ground for Trask, overruns the ball. Voss, short handball to Black, does well, gets the ball out to Ashcroft. Here's Lawrence running through the centre of the ground. Another big bomb. Off target. But some promising play by the Brisbane Lions.
It's just not quite working for them in conversion, is it? That's 5 goals, 8. It's just so important to be able to make the most of your scoring opportunities. Just at the moment, the Lions are missing a few chances that could easily be converted.
Lawrence has been a handy player, 11 possessions and 4 marks. From the kick out, Carey, dominating player in the game so far, finds Longmire, centre wing. So the horse kicks down towards centre half forward. Too much carry there for Scholl. Had to go out at one hand. Good back up by Archer. Second in line. Again, they kick long. McKernan pushing and shoving. Dick Voss, fantastic play.
Good play, wasn't it? McKernan eased him under the flight of the ball, but he backed hard, Dick Voss. That was the important thing. He really backed hard into McKernan. Got the hand up. Plucked it down from the front spot. That really defensive work, very good.
And a good kick by Lynch. Finds Lawrence. So Leppich in front of Carey did well. Just feeds the ball back, finds Scott across half back. So Chris Scott to the half forward line, but it's all North Melbourne taken by McCartney.
50 plays 38, 12-point margin. It had been 22 at quarter time. Jason McCartney, another raking kick to centre half forward. No mark here. Brad Scott taken down without it. Scholl, left foot kick. He kicked the back of the ball, it'll bounce on. Lawrence gets back there and rushes her behind. Difference in the scoring. 11 shots North Melbourne, 13 shots Brisbane, but North lead. Dick Voss looking from behind as he kicks in to Marcus Ashcroft, playing his 119th straight game. Hasn't missed since 1992. Leppich needs to get a little bit more of it. Kicked it too high for Voss. Here goes the Brownlow medalist. Might get it back from Champion. That was the plan, but Champion's hand pass was blocked. Now Michael Voss again. Concedes some ground. Ashcroft barely went the distance, but the mark paid to Marcus Ashcroft. Much better showing by the Brisbane Lions today. Bradshaw.
He looks very dangerous, Bradshaw. He's dropped a couple of marks. He's nearly held on to him, but he's quick and he can jump.
Well, he's got that interesting matchup. Blakey is now on him because McCartney has picked up Champion, but really when you can lead into the ball and jump, really jump at the ball, it makes it impossible for the defender. Bradshaw did all of those things, and the strong hands out in front of his eyes was just very, very nice.
This for his second goal, 48 metres. And I'm surprised. That drifted, looked as though it swung in the air, away to the right for a behind. Usually kicks him like a laser beam.
I can remember Lee seeing Bradshaw play one of his early games over in Perth, and I was talking to Scotty Clayton on the way back, and he said, keep your eye on this kid, he'll be a champion.
Yeah, it looks like he can play, can't he? He's got all the instincts again, but Brisbane just missing another shot.
Well, he kicked 35 goals last year, and Leppich booted 50. We see Carey marking in front of Leppich. So they formed a pretty good two-pronged attack. Allison on the ground, playing game number 200 today. Taken away by Kennedy. It's a hurried kick, and there's Carey once more. 7 marks to Wayne Carey. 11 kicks. Finds McCartney on the half-back flank. Kicks the ball towards 50. Dick Voss has got 2 to beat. Bell at ground level should win out. That's his territory. Centres the ball. It's a clever kick, looking for Winston Abraham. 3 against 1. Scott got good support from White, from Hart. Feeds it off to Ashcroft, across half-back. Kicks the ball out in front. That's a wonderful kick. Running with the fly of the ball as Kennedy.
Not bad mark, eh?
Didn't have to break stride. This is a terrific kick, Lee.
It's just beautifully weighted. They had to really just keep it inside the boundary line, but good enough to do it.
Well, they've got it to half forward, the Lions, but Pike intercepts for North. Hand pass to Archer. Down the centre corridor, Glenn Archer. But straight to the opposition. Hart marks. Trask. Scott. Chris Scott. Bursting the tackle. Inside centre, half forward. Martin volleys it. Champion. Ducks. Lions going well. Leppich. Kick smothered. Comes to Trask. Chris Scott. Oh, one touch would have been handy. Trask again. Centres to Hart. And have to build again. North have got back there. And they've really crowded the Lions forward line. But still some space, and a mark to Johnson.
Yes, the pressure's building. You start the game with a bit out of form, losing the first 3 games, Brisbane, but they're just working their way into this. It's sort of not by really precise football in the main, it's just by work ethic and persistence, and they're just getting their hands on the ball now around midfield, and they've just got a few forwards who they're finding. Again, this is such an important shot just to try and make sure the chance is converted fully.
Johnson, fresh from 4 goals last week, might have 3 before half-time here. He has. And the Lions players coming from all over the field, so there's some spirit amongst them today.
Yeah, oh yes, they know their football club and their team is in a difficult position even this early in the year, and they know how important. They leave Melbourne today with a zip 4 win-loss ratio, and they'd be in real trouble.
Three goals to Chris Johnson. They drag it back to a 6-point ball game. And you're right, Drew, plenty of spirit here for the Lions. They're pumped up, going in very hard. Kicked off the ground by Dion Scott. Again, danger here for North Melbourne. Kicked in mid-flight by Archer. Got plenty of distance. Big pack of players. Rock was the crummer. Thumps the ball up towards the half-forward line. Harvey's already kicked 2 goals. Chris Scott's been great across half-back. Flexing the muscles, gives it across to Voss, picking up plenty of possessions. Another great kick, finds Lawrence.
Well, that's threes, Cop. Don't tell me there isn't something to this.
No, I think he just happens to be the run man at the wrong time.
Spotlight on Stephen Lawrence. The lead is on Bradshaw in front of Archer. They've already taken Blakey from the ground. Pickett comes away. Bombs the ball long. Danny Dick-Voss finding his best form. Back to Voss, the Brownlow medalist, to centre half forward. Dion Scott was there. Bradshaw! Wow. The danger man. This to level the game.
It was like the carbon copy, wasn't it, of a couple of minutes ago, early in the quarter. The lead from the front position. I think it's one thing, Bradshaw, the defenders can't allow him to get space between the two of them, because when he can jump at the ball, he's very strong, a very good leap. I think Archer's going to have to try and get the body into Bradshaw to prevent him being able to have a clean leap at the ball.
He's very quickly, still just a teenager. This, the tie up the ball game. 51 points apiece.
Yes, and they got all the scoring shots. Brisbane, they're certainly having a very, very good patch of the game here. It'll be interesting to see what North Melbourne, what Dennis Pagan does to respond. Archer back onto Bradshaw was one because Bradshaw was looking dangerous. So this tall trio, the champion, Bradshaw, and now Scott, all around half forward, and Lepid's back to full forward. But it's the middle of the ground. Voss is starting to get the ball.
Dennis Pagan, he was concerned at quarter time when they led by 4 goals. What will his attitude be like now? Scores level. Pike just bursting his way through. Brad Scott, and that'll be a baller.
It's been very interesting. Voss, we know, is a terrific player, but I reckon Brad Scott and Stephen Lawrence, their work as this game in and around the action has been a terrific impetus for Brisbane.
Well, Voss has had it 12 times, and also Chris Scott has been a very good player as well. He's had 3 marks and 8 possessions. Cross half back.
Clark wins another hit out, but the opposition get the ball, helped on by Hewitt. Here's Peter Bell up to the goal square. Allison! Oh! Ho, ho, ho! Well, the mark's not paid. It'll be a ball up in the goal square.
Well, Darryl White knew how lucky he was then. He actually he had the body against Allison, and he just lost his balance, and he knew, whew, that was lucky. Allison just about should have marked the ball.
Clark beaten by Hewitt. Comes to Scholl. Back to Pike. Still only 30 metres out. And Pike has hooked it. It's enough to put them in front, but only by a point.
Let's have a look what happened here. Well, it just bounced, I think. One touch, then it bounced and back into his lap. Again, as I said, Darryl White knew that he was just a bit lucky to be let off the hook.
So White finds Ashcroft. It's on the half-back flank. North Melbourne lead by a point. They led by 22 points at quarter time. Kennedy couldn't take it. Champion tried to flick it on. They'll toss it back in. Just under 6 minutes of action left in the second term. Capuano on the ground for North Melbourne to do the ruck work.
And I think Carey heading forward as we speak.
So Clark takes up the front position and wins the tap. A bounce. Didn't really favour Voss under pressure. Hart did well. Taken by Bell. Hurried kick back towards the half-forward line. Pushing and shoving down there with Harvey was Trask. It's a loose ball. Grant paddling the ball along. In comes Brad Scott.
Off Scott's boot. Just unlucky, I think. It just bounced off his boot as he actually came into to tackle.
So that's bad luck there for the Lions. Allison out in front, goes to ground. Maybe a push, not paid. Anderson, quick snap, the Sandover medalist. Playing his first season with North Melbourne, puts it over the line. Number 14, Rhodey Anderson. 52 plays, 51. Danny Dick-Voss will certainly have to go off with the blood rule. I think they're trying to stop the game. They're a man short. Scholl, quick snap. It's going to cost him a goal. Harvey banks through his third.
Yes, it's that kind of... well, that is a lot of blood, and the Brisbane trainers on that occasion were trying to tell the umpires they had a bleeding player, so the play would be stopped while he was replaced, but the umpires either didn't hear or didn't take any notice until this occasion, and North Melbourne have been able to score the goal.
Danny Dickfoss off the ground with blood streaming through a cut above his eye, and he was bleeding at this stage, so the Lions were one short. Down he goes there in the foreground, and in the meantime play went on and North got a goal out of it, 3 to Harvey. So Black is back on the ground for the Lions, replacing Dickfoss. North into attack again. Well played, Chris Scott. Half back to half forward. They're looking to tap the ball. Ashcroft, Johnson, Black, kicked by Black, knocked down by North defence, Archer, and he comes up with the ball, Glenn Archer. Robert Scott, no time, no space. A little soccer forward is out of bounds on the full. Another one a bit unlucky for the Lions, and Mick Martin will take the free, left half back.
Mighty Mick from that last line of defence. Bombs the ball long, looking for Carey in front. He's got it, the champ. Been moved to centre half forward. Finds Bell on the burst outside of 50. Allison.
Well, it's interesting, Dion Scott was playing centre half forward and Carey was playing centre half back. And when Carey went into the forward line, Scott's gone with him. I'm still not sure whether, in fact, if you want to designate it, that Carey's still the sixth defender. He's just decided to go up the other end of the ground, and Scott's gone with him.
Well, Peter Bell finding Allison in front of Darryl White. He's not on his preferred side, so it'll be a tough kick for Allison in his 200th game. He has drilled it. Great goal.
Well, they've certainly answered the challenge, North, in this last couple of minutes with those last 2 goals to draw clear again. Again, it was the Carey's ability to win the contest and terrific vision to see Bell out there who's popped onto Allison, and this had to thread the needle, but he did it. And North have answered this challenge late in the second quarter.
So 13 points the lead now to the Kangaroos. Clark wins another hit out, but Pike takes it. So winning hit outs doesn't necessarily get you the ball. Pike wide to the forward pocket, not a good kick. Met by Darryl White. To Brad Scott. Oh, he should have marked. Somehow kept it in. Up to centre wing, Champion. Well, Abraham, that was a bit loose. You not only missed the ball, you let your man get away. Champion to full forward. Push by Martin, yes. Free kick, Lepich.
Oh, reversed the decision.
Well, Johnson has come in and turned the ball over to the opposition after Lepich had that free kick.
I'd like to see that in replay, whether Johnson had any idea the free kick had been paid.
I don't think he did, Lee. I don't think there was any doubt in the world that Johnson had no idea that free kick had been paid.
Let's have a look at this. The free kick was against Martin. Play goes on. Oh, that's shocking, shocking umpiring decision, that. Shocking. He did nothing, Johnson, then. I don't know how you saw it from down there, John.
Oh, look, Johnson had no idea. I agree with you, Lee. He had no idea at all that that free kick had been paid.
It's called common sense. Bradshaw to the half-forward line, looking for Lepage this time. Diving attempt. Archer with strength under pressure. They'll throw it back in.
I'm still not sure. Johnson didn't even throw Martin to the ground with any vigour. All he did was really try to lay what he thought would have been a tackle. I
thought he eased up on the tackle when he just sort of realised that all of a sudden Martin wasn't sort of wanting to go over the ball. I think he figured then that maybe the whistle had gone. Lawrence.
It's just an indication. We're working hard, Brisbane, but they can't quite get that just a little bit of good luck.
Hart to the pocket. Johnson in front of Pickett. Beaten this time. It's been a great duel. Johnson's kicked a couple of goals. Pickett's been good as well. Champion should back. He's got it. Too tall for Winston Abraham. He's had a pretty tough game so far. Just the one kick for Winston Abraham. Champion looking for Dion Scott. Ground level, Black. Good tackle by Scott. Goes to ground. Lepage also. Got to keep your footing. Black taps it on, taken by Lawrence, try to crash his way through. Dion Scott tumbles the ball forward. Bradshaw, quick hands, quick kick. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, that's terrific effort, isn't it?
Well, I think this kid's got amazing talents, Lee.
Oh, yeah. Now, that was really making the most of the opportunities. Probably just a little bit lucky. Threw the ball onto his boot in a difficult situation there, but it was good enough to make. He couldn't take complete possession because he would have been tackled, so it was really a matter of trying to keep his options open as he kicks his third goal, but they're working very hard, Brisbane.
Daniel Bradshaw has kicked 3 goals and he hardly even took clean possession then, just hacked it out of the air, and it was a magnificent goal. Grant out of the middle. Carey drops a mark, but Stevens gets it going forward. Scholl, further support from Rock on the 50. Back over his shoulder, he tried to, but has kicked it out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a Lions free kick.
Interesting, they're under pressure, North Melbourne, and Corey McKernan is actually off the ground. Well, they may not have wanted him in the forward line, but I think his condition must be questionable. Otherwise, you would have thought he would have had a run in the ruck at this point.
Good point, Lee.
Look at the 3 men for the Lions here. Lawrence dumps it inside 50. Lepic very high. Archer had to get rid of it in a hurry. Oh, Voss! Michael Voss with a bit of skill. Puts the ball out wide. Brad Scott. And he hooked it. And out of bounds on the full. No score. Oh, it hit the behind post on the full.
Done very well across half-back. Let's have a look at this again. And again, the free kick had been paid. The whistle's blown, but even, I mean, it was really just pretty inoffensive, I would have thought, to reverse the decision.
Well, Lee, as you said earlier, what would the free kick have been paid for?
Anyway, yeah.
Well, the siren has gone. And North Melbourne at half-time lead by 7 points, 64 plays, 57. There's John North. He'd be pretty happy with that second quarter. They trailed by 22 points at quarter time. They've come out, and with Bradshaw at full forward, a dominating player now, kicking 3 goals, and also Chrissy Johnson in the pocket with 3 goals. They look very dangerous, the Lions, and I don't think they quite got enough for their hard play.
That was basically it. North Melbourne ahead on the scoreboard, but Brisbane have probably been winning most of the ball. But they've been working hard. Again, they come into the game with not too very good form, losing 3 their only 3 games. So you just got to work your way into it. It's not through precise, really, skill and ball handling, it's effort. And Stephen Lawrence, the guy in the centre of the screen there, I reckon he's led the way. Michael Voss has been terrific, as is Brad Scott. They've been very impressive, their work ethic. Now they've got to see if they can make the scoreboard count in the second half.
Well, I think our viewers in Queensland will be happy with this, and you'll be back for the second half. Highlights other games in a moment.
Being seen out here at the MCG today, they're playing with spirit, and I would say playing for their coach, because they know that they're behind the 8 ball, and it's such an important game.
Well played by Richard Champion in the middle. Drives it to full forward. Lepic off the ground. Oh, just how can it break that severely? And it didn't go through for any sort of score. And Longmire kicks out of defence to Grant. Defensive 50. Over the top to Pike. Now he'll go longer. Pike's kick. Not as long as he intended. So they're able to spoil it. Lynch, a terrific hand pass in the middle to Champion. Playing an unusual role for Richard Champion. Lawrence concedes some ground to Chris Scott. And he pokes it up very high. Not a great ball for the forwards. Martin got a hand to it. Bradshaw the hand pass. Goal coming up to Lepic. Oh, he can't get the handle. Blakey runs into a solid brick wall from Dion Scott. And eventually Pickett the hand pass. Across half back to Stevens. Anthony Stevens had just 2 kicks in the first half, and he leads the competition after 3 rounds in kicking. Hasn't seen it today.
So North Melbourne go forward. Here's Harvey marking in front of Trask. So a couple of wasted opportunities for the Lions, with Lepic just unable to handle the ball, and that quick kick just doing an arc on the goal line. Here's McKernan. Fumbles as well, and they'll toss it back in.
An interesting matchup. Alistair Lynch is now playing. And have here, it just didn't quite really went the whole length of the goal line, didn't it? To go through, or did not quite go through even. But Lynch is looked like he was on Carey, but they've changed that. Now Lynch is on Scholl, and Kennedy is playing centre half back on Carey, who's started in the forward line for North at the start of this third quarter.
Ashcroft was held. He's got on the half-back flank. They trail by 7 points. They trail by 22 points at quarter time. Kicks the ball up, looking for Tristan Lynch off hands. And they'll throw it back in. See Matthew Capuano, Robert Scott, Peter Bell sitting on the boundary line.
And we notice that Corey McKernan is on the ground, but he's at the full forward line position. It would appear, unless he is real late in the game stuff, that he's not going to be actually given ruck duties, and that would have to mean his physical condition is not going to allow him to.
Clark's getting his hand on the ball first. Rock wins out, back to Archer. Started on the forward line, now playing back in defence, and there's a good mark taken by Winston Abraham. Really sided today. He's really struggled to find the ball down towards the centre wing position. Long arms go up there from young Hewitt. And again, they'll throw it back in. There's Simon Black sitting on the interchange bench, along with young Beau McDonald. And Marcus Picken, Billy Picken's son, also sitting on the interchange bench.
Hewitt and Clark. Matty Clark just with a bit of a flip of the fingers to the back. Hart buried. Abraham goes a short pass, and Carey marks outside 50. What can the King do here? Slips over first. Oh, good kick. An excellent mark by Grant. Shannon Grant got high and then got flipped upside down.
Have a look at Tristan Lynch coming in for the spoil. Maybe he just got there a little too late, or maybe he just mistimed the punch, but he really got nowhere near the actual ball to affect a punch. But a well-weighted kick by Carey. Abraham's to Carey to Grant. It's a question of holding on to possession under pressure.
One goal in the first quarter for Shannon Grant is to extend North's 7-point lead. Left foot will help from that angle, and a perfect kick.
Shannon Grant, recruited from the Swans, still only a 20-year-old ex-Victorian, swapped, of course, for Wayne Schwash, who's growing great guns with the Sydney Swans. So Grant's performance certainly won't be able to keep secret. What he does will be compared to Wayne Schwash, and a valuable goal to extend the North Melbourne lead.
Two goals to Shannon Grant. Clark dominating the ruck. Pike wins it out of the centre square. North Melbourne again come forward. So it's a chance for a big grab. There's McKernan, got his hands on the Sherrin, just couldn't take it. Hitting the ball hard is Harvey. This is danger. He's already kicked 3. Touched.
And I think Wayne Carey was saying it should have been to the front of the goal square, but I guess he thought he could finish Harvey in a kick straight, but couldn't quite get enough power off his left side.
Pretty acrobatic by Darryl White.
He can jump.
White just picks out Scott. This is Brad Scott. Joined Chris from Hawthorn, played every game with the Hawks last year. They set it up to Hart on the edge of the centre square. Goes short. Lawrence is the target. Chipping in is Tristan Lynch. So he kicks a high ball inside 50. So it's a chance for the high flyers, and there he is, Glenn Archer.
Great third man up mark, isn't he? When he has a chance to have a sit at the pack, Archer, and have a run and jump at it.
And they break wide to Shannon Grant. He's kicked 2 goals. Trying to set it up loose as Stevens. Just a couple of possessions in the first half. It's on the edge of the centre square. Puts it out in front. McKernan's the target. This time he's got it. That's a good mark.
It's a long way up when he's in the front position. He's giving, or Dick Foss has given McKernan a fair bit of height, and then there's a terrific kick in front. He had the front spot, he just had the height that Dick Foss couldn't quite get at the ball or at the arm sufficiently to force McKernan to fumble the mark. Hasn't had a lot of the ball, McKernan, but kicked a couple of valuable goals.
Going for his third. This will be a handy start to this third quarter by North Melbourne. McKernan from about 55 metres. Distance is there, not the accuracy. Puts it through for a behind.
Well, one would think, KB, that Brisbane just have to get the next goal. They haven't really started this third quarter well, had their first couple of chances and didn't make the most of them. And really, as this lead is blowing out to 15 points, another goal to North Melbourne is going to make this really tough for the Brisbane team.
Yes, North have added 1-2 for the quarter. Lions haven't added. Harvey, that ball jolted out of his arms. Lynch to Trask. On his own in the middle, Voss. Michael Voss to generate something here. He kicks it long to full forward. Bradshaw's there. Taps the ball on beautifully. Champion goals.
Kick 2.
Second goal for Richard Champion in an unusual role, and they're within 9 points.
Yes, he started on the interchange bench, of course, and has come on and played as a taller running half forward. Hasn't had a heap of the ball, but he's got a little bit dangerous, kicked a couple of goals. And the Voss was to Bradshaw was the target, and a very nice little tap on in the under pressure from Bradshaw over into Champion's path, who kicks the goal.
And the Lions drag it back to 9 points. There's a happy young man, Clark, this time beaten by Hewitt. So the Lions have been under pressure all day, came back in that second term, and Chris Scott has been one of the catalysts.
Well, if the twin brothers can even out, KB, they've both been very good.
Well, he's been very good across half-back.
Brother to brother, Chris to Brad.
So Brad Scott on the point of the square. This is a very high kick. There'll be a lot of pushing and shoving. A chance for the high flyer. Leverage. Here's Bradshaw's going to kick a goal.
They missed the goal.
He has missed it.
It's really been typical in a way of the Brisbane game. They've been trying so hard, but they can't make the most of these chances. It was terrific tackling pressure there to force the mistake by Pickett, but even so, you would have thought Bradshaw would have been able to make an accurate shot from that point-blank range.
I wonder if he mistook the goalpost for the points then, Lee, because that seemed to be a pretty straight kick, even though he was under pressure.
Yeah, I suspect he just mistimed it. Just pulled off the kick enough by that chasing pressure from Pickett.
Let's have a look at this, Lee, because it didn't deviate. He just runs straight in.
Oh, no, I think it got off the inside of his right foot.
Inside, you think?
Yeah, inside of his foot, hooked it.
Didn't do a Malcolm Blight.
No, I don't think so.
There's a throw to Lynch. Does well, some fancy footwork. Kicks to the point of the square. It's all North Melbourne. Archer's going to get back and takes a slips catch.
Oh, wasn't that a low one?
Glenn Archer out of defence. Pickett. Slippery customer. Another great distance with that kick. Half back to half forward, and look who's on the end of it. Carey takes his 10th mark. Down towards the forward pocket. Winston. Seen precious little of him today. Takes his second mark.
Have a look at this. Terrific mark, wasn't it? It looked like it was going to bounce at his feet, but that's the kind of desperation you need from your defenders. If it had bounced in front of him, then it could have just gone anywhere, but Archer made that low chest mark, which has actually launched the rebound from which Abraham is going to have the shot at goal.
Winston Abraham had the first shot at goal for the game today, kicked it behind, came in with 8 goals, 1 to his name after the first 3 rounds. About 42 metres out, close to the right goal post, and that's 2 behinds.
Well, he's missed the goal, but if there was a better kicking action than Winston Abraham, I haven't seen it. A terrifically balanced kick, and again, Archer up one end, Carey at half forward, just really making that low chest mark.
White this time favours the Great Southern Stand, finds Ashcroft into his 10th season. Such a good player, rarely beaten. Kicks the ball long. Johnson thought he had it hard chipped in and spoiled him, taken away by Blakey. So on the rebound to Carey. He's on the half-forward line, wants to take him on. Good 65 metres out. Backing back is White. Got his fist to the ball, still loose. Rock, danger, over the shoulder. Touched on the line. Desperate play by Darryl White.
Free kick before that.
Well,
free kick against...
so Dick Voss has got it. Short to Scott. The umpire indicates just have to go back, take your choice. He kicks it to Trask.
It's a dangerous option. It paid off, but it's a dangerous option. Now it's opened up.
It opens up. So Brad Scott through the centre square. Time for think music. Can he weigh up his options? Scott pumps the ball long. So a chance. One for the high flyers. At ground level, Bradshaw stayed down, left it for Champion, who does well. He's booted a couple, gives it back to Bradshaw. Across the face of goal. There's a mark to D on Scott, is it? Yep. He's got it.
And again, just their failure to hold the mark then created the ground level ball. It was a quick kick forward, centred the ball. It was really, could have gone to anyone. Went to Brisbane.
And Dion Scott has missed. Well, some wasted opportunities for the Lions in this third term.
Well, they should have been in front, shouldn't they?
A lot of hard play and a lot of good work has gone unrewarded. Longmire goes short. Too much carry on the ball. Kicked off the ground by Archer. Inside the centre square. Taken away by Tristan Lynch.
Missed tackle.
Harvey.
Got to hold the tackle.
Great smother by Voss. Again kicked off the ground by Leppage. Comes back to Ashcroft. And this time Dion Scott 45 metres out. This time he has kicked a goal.
Well, they're working their way back into it. They certainly didn't start this third quarter all that well. Brisbane and North got the first couple of goals, but really it was just terrific smother, work ethic, just keep the ball running forward. And eventually the Brisbane player, Scott, was able to run onto the ball and kick it straight for once. They're certainly wasting a lot of opportunities. Very good game this. It's alive now.
Well, Dion Scott kicked the goal and straight away has gone to the bench, so it makes you wonder whether he's on his way to the bench, and that's how come he found himself so much in the clear. Here's Michael Voss, just 2 points the margin here. Anthony Stevens played one of his poor games, best and fairest last year. Hardly seen it today. Here's a free kick to Allison, taken round the ears when attempting the mark.
It was an interesting setup prior to that centre bounce. All the North Melbourne forwards were in the goal square. About 5 goals in the true full forward position, 5 guys. Carey one out around the centre half forward position against Kennedy.
Allison doesn't make the distance. McKernan is there, and also Hewitt. Gee, Carey, McKernan and Hewitt, there was a bit of height about.
Well, every one of them, wasn't there? The 3 big fellas have all got height on their opponents. Dick Foss, Kennedy there, and really on that situation, it was just a question the North players just outreached them. Somehow or other, looked like Ashcroft was opposed to Hewitt. Just maybe White had actually got caught upfield on the man on the mark.
Well, Lions defence had no hope of reaching the ball in. Hewitt goals from close range. He gets his first goal, the margin 8 points.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he just backed Hewitt. It was certainly a one-on-one. They had all their opponents, Kennedy and Dick Foss, who were there. But somehow or other, Ashcroft for Hewitt, well, that was going to advantageous to Hewitt. And it's an interesting thing in the North Melbourne goal square, as we're talking here. They've just got a pack of players in the goal square, all the space around Carey at centre-half forward.
79 plays 71. North Melbourne answering the challenge from the Lions. Big thump away. Needing a bounce was Lynch, tried to slap it on. Voss has won plenty of the ball, goes to ground. Again, North Melbourne come forward. This time, Kennedy playing out in front of Carey. Kicks it off the ground. Tristan Lynch started the game on the interchange bench. Keeps the ball alive. May not have been good play. And that's just getting the ball back for North Melbourne. It was good play by Stevens. And Carey just takes it over the line. So the Brisbane Lions have got within 3 points, but again, North Melbourne answers the challenge. Throw in on the half-forward line. Big pack of players, Rock. Quick kick. McKernan tried a fresh air shot, then did the crumbing, grabbed high, thrown to the ground, no free. Winston Abraham, the excitement machine, runs into the open goal. Bangs it through. Such a dangerous player. Hasn't really been in the play today, Lee. But he's one of those players, give him 2 or 3 kicks,
well,
and he can hurt you.
Yeah, it is. But there's an interesting situation developed where McDonald is now in the ruck against Hewitt and Clark has gone into the full forward line. Well, I don't know whether Clark can ruck or don't. We see Abrahams, he just was able to get the advantage and ran into the open goal, and he did the finishing. But as this game's in the balance, I wonder whether Clark, the experienced ruckman, should be in there.
North have skipped out to a 14-point break midway through the third quarter. Young Beau McDonald making his debut. Faces young Evan Hewitt, playing just his 5th game. magnificent hit on by Lawrence. Chopped off by McCartney. Towards the southern stand side. Stevens has certainly come into the game a bit more in the third quarter. Out of it in the first half. McDonald got up to punch the ball down. Attempted soccer off the ground by Kennedy. It's still there for the Lions. Brad Scott gets the ball out. Kick by McDonald over the centre circle. Bradshaw. Clever tap to Lepic. Kick by Lepic is perfect. And Johnson marks about 40 metres out.
Yes, to continue on with that centre bounce situation, McDonald being in there and Clark being up on the full forward line, I think Hewitt's going to immediately go forward, which is going to make McDonald play as something like a defensive ruckman. Whether the young kid's got the experience to handle that job, it's a big call.
Johnson has kicked truly. That's 4. They just will not say die, the Lions, and they're back to within 8 points again.
And certainly it's been a concentration of goal kickers. Only 4 players kicked, contributed to the 11 goals. A couple to Champion, 3 to Johnson, 3 to Bradshaw, 2 to Scott. But here, Lepic, he set up Johnson. It was a terrific kick out into the space. But it's going to get a lot of the ball from the midfield. Their on-ballers are doing well, Brisbane. But stopping North from scoring to overtake them is going to be a big challenge.
85 plays 77. You're right, Drew. The Lions just won't go away. Cross inside the centre square at half-back is Rock. Chips it back around the corner, playing in front. Big thump away by Tristan Lynch. Voss has been very good today. Goes short to Lawrence. His partner in crime. He's had a great game. Inside 50. This will be a miracle goal if he can bend it back. He can't.
Yes, he looked in the middle then, Lawrence. He was wanting to centre the ball, but there wasn't really anything on, so he just tried to bend the ball round from a difficult angle and just wasn't quite able to straighten it up, went out of bounds on the full. But he did look inside, so he certainly had the instincts to centre the ball.
North Melbourne by 9 points. Mighty Mick Martin from the back pocket. Young McDonald in front. 200 centimetres. Just a youngster making his way in the game for the Lions. Scott was caught, got rid of the ball. Champion goes to ground. Clever play. Back to Lynch. Trying to set it up, weighs up the options, decides to go long. Clark, the high flyer, but too big this time is Longmire playing in front. Got height all over the ground at North Melbourne, and they've got loose players as well. Harvey to Pike, through the centre square. Danger here for the Lions, kicks long, pushing and shoving. There's the long arms of McKernan. Great passage of play.
Well, would we like to have a look at this? There was one thing to learn from the back position. Have a look at McKernan here. He certainly leans on Dick Foss. Does he push him? Well, it's that fine line, isn't it? It is that fine line whether you're just holding your ground from the back position or whether you're actually easing the player in front underneath the ball in what you would say is a push in the back. Did John Russo, did you have a good look at that one?
Well, I did, Lee, but on the monitor, we're obviously in front of that, so we can't tell whether he does push. But as you've mentioned, that's exactly what the umpire's trying to determine, whether he pushed him and then took the mark.
And McKernan has also missed. So there's been some bad shots for goal in this third term by both sides.
Let's have a look at this from the side angle. He certainly made a forward movement. No, that's a push in the back for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right, Lee. Obviously, that second action, the hands in the back pushing, then the hands up, justify the free kick.
Darryl White's kick in. Lawrence has been magnificent today for the Lions. Out to Tristan Lynch. High ball. Johnson with the sit, works to the front. He's kicked 4. Out to Hart. Threads the hand pass through to Lepic. Scott. Brad Scott just outside 50. Centering kick. Bradshaw. No mark. Still there for the Lions. The umpire will ball it up. Getting reasonably dark here at the MCG. Haven't turned the lights on today, saving on the electricity. And there's the website, and you can follow the football with stats on teams and backgrounds and records. It is a magnificent website. They haven't got that on their mind at the moment. Ashcroft, the hand pass back to Brad Scott. Round the corner he goes. Hart in the pocket. Very difficult. If you're looking to centre this one, gets round on his left. He goes for goal across the face. And that's into the behind post on the full, out of bounds on the full.
Well, they say there's no luck in football, but with an oval ball there's always got to be a little bit of luck, and of course with subjective umpiring decisions the same. And I just think the luck of the game hasn't gone with Brisbane. They've worked hard, but those little things that just vary from week to week have mostly gone against them. It's amazing when you're struggling, that's what happens. You're just not really getting those little ounces of good fortune.
Well, the scoreboard's got it 87-77, which is a 10-point ball game, but here at Channel 7 we've got it a 9-point ball game with North Melbourne in front. So on the scoreboard they're a point out. Chance for Grant, gets the ball back. Mighty Mick stands and delivers, unloads a big bomb back towards the centre wing position. The thump from behind was by McDonald. Youngster showing a little bit of form. Kicked off the ground by Scott, then does the tackling, peels for the free kick. I'll get a ball up. There's Scott just asking the question. Carey grabs the ball. No real attempt to get rid of the ball there by Wayne Carey.
Carey just dropped back in defence again for the moment. It's interesting the use of Carey today by Dennis Pagan. Started defence, went forward, and now just back in defence late in this third quarter.
Kick in danger there that time. We don't see it paid too often.
So it goes to Voss. Plays on quickly. Just sets it up for Pickett. He marks in front of Hart. So Byron Pickett in the back pocket. Kicks the ball long again. Looking for the high flyer out there. Looking for Hewitt. Longmire there as well. Fended off his opponent. He's been pinged. So Ashcroft again. Still on centre wing. As the Lions continue to come forward. 4 minutes of action left in this third term. Ashcroft, the centre half forward, looking for Clark. Comes over the top of Mighty Mick. The ball just thumped on by Grant. Chris Scott back towards centre half forward, trying to crash his way through once more. Was Ashcroft, lost control, picked up by the King. Carey goes wide, kicks to space. Lynch tries to fend off Scholl. That's holding the ball.
Dead set. Alistair. Scholl. McKernan hits it pretty hard. Crunches the pack. Hewitt at the back. Caught in a good tackle by Brad Scott. Robert Scott. It's close. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait. He got it.
Just tremendous play at halfback by Wayne Carey to spoil a Lepage mark and then be able to launch it forward. And here was just Flurry in front of goal. Grab and kick it by Scott, and just wobbled its way through. And this is Brisbane's problem. They're working so hard, but North Melbourne just keep being able to go forward and score a goal.
Kangaroos by 16 points. Longmire off, Capuano on. Can the Lions get a late goal? Pike dragged down by Lepage. Forced the error. McDonald. Hand pass was smothered by Capuano. Crashing his way through was Brad Scott, has been very good. Out wider O'Brien, been mainly on the interchange bench. Voss, those quick hands to Champion. He's kicked a couple of goals under pressure. Archer's hard to beat. Ties it up on the half-back line. Pike had it, lost it. Knocked on by Archer. Ball comes out wide. Pickett gives it across to Stevens. Tries to drill it. Finds the wrong man. Chris Scott. So Chris and Brad Scott being big players today for the Lions. There's Clark, back to Voss, picking up a lot of possessions. Kicks the ball down, looking for Johnson. He's given away the free.
Just haven't quite got the players in there. They're getting the ball into the forward 50, but just really having trouble being able to win enough 50-50 balls.
Here's Wayne Carey, the King, bouncing out of defence. And kicking at a country kilometre, half back to half forward. No teammates there. Lynch gets back. Another goal will be handy for the Lions before the three-quarter time siren. Hand pass astray. Scholl puts it up very high. Rock camped underneath it. Right in front, 45 metres from goal.
What was Alistair Lynch doing there, Lee?
Well, I think he just might not have mistimed the left-hand handball. He tried to set up Scott, but as soon as the handball didn't reach Scott and bounced, could have been there. Have a look at Lynch here. He turns outside, and just a very poor, might have been a touched off Scott's hands. That might have been what reduced the length of the handball, but once it hit and was regained by North Melbourne, they always are going to have a chance.
Rock for goal. Missed.
let off the hook.
So both clubs could say, well, there have been plenty of chances that we should have taken here. Anthony Rock, 1-goal, 1. Scott Clayton looks on, football director for the Brisbane Lions, and John Northey, what a week he's had. Players delivering food to his house and all sorts of other stories.
Well, they've played with plenty of spirit. We were told that maybe John Northey and the players weren't getting on, but they have played with a lot of spirit here today at the MCG. Still not out of this game. Short to Lynch. Kicks the ball out wide, hugs the boundary line and finds Darryl White. Just holds up traffic. Just over a minute of action left. There's a good kick, finds Hart. Has the ball smothered. Bradshaw, who's quick, inside 50. They need a mark or a crumb. Lepage feeds the ball off. Richard Champion going for his 3rd goal. It's to the square. Mickey Martin pushing and shoving down there with McDonald. Ball goes through for a behind.
And I see Clark's back in the ruck, and it's a big ask for young McDonald to have rucked a fair bit of this game, but I must say he's been pretty promising. Only an 18-year-old from Swan Districts, first gamer, but I thought he's just shown a bit of agility and pretty good hands overhead. You'd be pretty confident he's got a big future.
This is a bad kick out by Pickett. It's been marked by Clark. There's just over 30 seconds left. A goal here would be fantastic for the Brisbane Lions. Voss, can he trap it? Taken by Welsh. Gives the ball back to Grant. North Melbourne away. Out of trouble. Bell from half back. That's a good kick. Finds Scholl. Covers a lot of territory. He's on centre wing. Time might be running out for North Melbourne, but still a chance. Good mark. Hewitt gives it across. Capuano out in front. McKernan. Wonderful play by North Melbourne. And there's 8 seconds left.
It was all about that contest on the half-back line, wasn't it? Voss just couldn't quite take possession. As soon as the kick-in went to Clark, he set Johnson up, and when North won possession, it was really just a chain of flow. Rebound from defence, and all the space was out in front of McKernan. Pretty easy mark.
Well, McKernan's last goal was after the siren at quarter time. He kicked 2 in the first quarter, and here's his next shot for goal, also after the siren.
So Corey McKernan has also kicked 2 behinds this term, and 1 from close in. Just taking his time. There's John Northey, Scotty Clayton as well. Dennis Pagan coming down. Norm Dare with him as well, who used to be the coach of the Brisbane Bears, now with North Melbourne. So Corey McKernan from 40 metres out. This will hurt. He's kicked a very good goal.
Yes, 3 goals in a game where goals haven't been all that easy to get, but certainly North, 22-point lead at 3/4 time. They've tried so hard, Brisbane, but they are struggling really to get past North on the scoreboard.
So we'll have to check on the score here. The board shows 100 to 78. We'll work on that and take a break from the MCG. Last quarter about to start here at the MCG. Umpire Gavin Della about to restart the game. 21 points. Well, it's a big ask for the visitors. If the Lions can kick straight, they've certainly got it inside the 50 enough. Who knows? Winston Abraham bursts out of the middle. Is left-footed a full forward, and Dick Foss, who had further treatment for his cut eye at 3/4 time, was virtually pushed into that mark. To Hart, now to Kennedy, out in front of the members' stand here at the MCG. Swerves inboard and kicks with distance. That's good play to full forward. Lepage has had a pretty quiet day. It comes to the back to Blakey. Now to Glenn Archer. Archer to the southern stand side. So the Lions wanted to work it down their left wing, and the Kangaroos going down their left. Pike. Leeds covered. Kick by Pike, short of half forward. Oh, Hewitt, the youngster, made a good contest. Comes to Robert Scott. One out is McKernan with Dick Foss. Oh, Dick Foss let it get behind him. McKernan for goal. It bounces through. McKernan's kicked 4, and he shakes his head as though he's won Tats Lotto.
Well, as I said, this has been a game where good fortune has been worth a fair bit more than anything else. And here he just really, Dick Foss overruns the ball, McKernan grabs it and kicks it, and then it just does a beautiful bounce straight into the open goal. Really from North Melbourne's point of view, any of those things that are in the lap of the gods have gone the Kangaroos' way today.
You see young Hewitt there, who nearly took that mark, showed a lot of courage coming across in front of the pack. Looks a fine prospect. So it's a great start of this final quarter by North Melbourne. Got a goal on the board in the first 90 seconds. Again, Capuano thumps the ball, overrunning it. Here's Hart, who now recovers well. Just feeds the ball back off to Lynch. Doesn't really hit a target in Ashcroft. He'll get support from Voss. Still to recover the ball. Now he kicks down towards the half-forward line, but the whistle is gone.
Free kick
downfield
against the Shepherd.
Inside 50. Lepage goes to ground and he's got the free kick.
Oh, and Mickey doesn't like it. Of course, Mickey Martin thinks there's never such a thing as a free kick against him. We know that, but still, Mickey always never takes it calmly when there's a free kick against him.
Yet to kick a goal today, Justin Lepage.
And he came in as their leading goal kicker for the season.
Kicked 50 goals last year. He's kicked 7 goals this year. This will be a handy one for the Lions. Just to answer that opening goal by Corey McKernan. He'll be shooting from just inside 50. The distance is there. He's rammed it home. So a quick answer.
And they needed it. They certainly need to. This is the free against Martin. I think maybe just a slight tackle, slide over the shoulder. But the free kick down the field, in fact, came from an aggressive attempt to spoil the Shepherd.
Well, they've evened the ledger to a goal each in the opening couple of minutes of this last quarter. So back to square one. Clark wins the hit out and wins the kick. Almost a one-hander to Blakey. It comes to the front to Pickett. Away to Wayne Carey. Another phenomenal game. 19 kicks. He's taken 11 marks. Oh, good mark by Rock. Anthony Rock told the player on. He centres the ball. Clark is there. And the man in front of him takes the mark. Alistair Lynch. To Dick Voss. Draws a man with the bounce. Sean Hart can take it down the outer wing. McKernan gives chase. David and Goliath. Dion Scott. Kennedy. With distance. Lepage and Martin. Archer did well to get back and help out McMartin. It's gone to the goal square, and this will be a goal.
Picken.
Marcus Picken, who spent most of the day on the bench, gets a goal, and the Lions creep closer.
Well, it's an interesting decision then by Glenn Archer. When he flew third man up in the contest, most of the occasion I think he would have just flown for the mark. Have a look at this. He had to sit, Archer. I think he probably would have got a fair chance of marking anyway, but when he couldn't, I think Martin may have got his fist in first. And when the ball went over the back, Picken ran onto it and goal. And the 2 consecutive goals, well, that's the kind of sequence that Brisbane need. Johnny Russo, what's happening down there?
Well, look, I made it to the Brisbane Lions huddle at three-quarter time, and John Northey emphasised exactly what you said earlier, Lee. That is that the scoreboard doesn't reflect the way the Lions are playing. He said those 50-50 things aren't going their way, and just said keep up the work rate, and we've got a real chance of pulling this one off.
Dick Voss playing in front. They've got to be desperate in defence now. Chance for Scott, gets the ball out. Here's the danger man, McKernan, tackled by Hart, paddles the ball along, kicks the ball back over the shoulder, but I think he might have been over the line. They'll throw it back in.
Wayne Carey has started this fourth quarter at centre-half back. He's played, I suppose, more of the game at centre-half back than centre-half forward. You'd love to know the thinking in Dennis Pagan's mind as to what stages of the game he thinks he should be at the forward line and other stages in defence.
Grant, quick snap. He's kicked the ripper. A great goal to Shannon Grant.
And he just needs 2 more to equal Wayne Schwass from last night.
Yeah, it just happened. There he comes. See him, he just got knocked out of the pack, but then just the ball was knocked out by the Brisbane defender, straight into Grant's arms, happened to be able to just hook the left ball into the goal, and that's the story of this game. Brisbane put the pressure on North on the scoreboard, but North just keep able to keep scoring.
The margin back to 21 points. 2 goals each to start this last quarter. Shannon Grant, the goal scorer, gets the kick out of the centre circle. but it's met by Dick Foss. So he's given it to no one in particular. So Bell takes it, the hand pass into Robert Scott on the run, just offline. It wasn't Robert Scott.
Welsh.
Young Welsh.
Welsh. He was played every game this year after playing one game last year and one game the previous year. So offline, 22 the margin. And we still have plenty of time for the Lions. 16 minutes and 22 seconds remaining for them. 4 goals can win it, as long as they keep the opposition scoreless.
Kennedy kicks the ball long, looking for Clark in front. Just couldn't hang on to the Sharon. Scholl at ground level, gives it away, taken away by Voss. Comes away from the half-back line. Goes down looking for Chrissy Johnson. He's booted 4 goals. At ground level, can feed it off. Good play back to Voss, who sets it up around the corner in front. Leppich couldn't quite get on the second grab. Carey does well, had his feet tangled up, gets it back to Pickett. Unloads a big bomb back towards the centre wing position. And there's a good mark by Welsh. Plays on straight away, back to Grant. He's booted 3, back to Hewitt. One of their young guns kicks the ball inside 50, pushing and shoving. McKernan too big.
It's a tough ask down there for Danny Dick Foss. I've wondered as this game's developed, you've got Lynch up on Scholl and Dick Foss on McKernan. You would have thought that possibly the matchups would have been better with Lynch on McKernan, bigger, stronger, and just maybe Dick Foss a bit more mobile up the ground on Scholl. And really, as this game's developed, I've questioned a fair few times why McKernan isn't in the ruck, but certainly as a forward, well, he's about to have a shot to goal to kick his 5th for maybe 25 metres out. So you kick 5 goals as a tall forward. Well, you've done a pretty good job.
He's directly in front, and it's 45 metres out. He's got it. So 5 goals to Corey McKernan, looming now as a match winner, playing at full forward. I think maybe that move you talk about, Lee, is a good one, with Lynch maybe going back there with the size, because he's taken a couple of big grabs now. And whilst Danny Dick Foss will do well at ground level, it's going to be pretty difficult for him when it comes to this one-on-one duel.
Yeah, there's just been a lot of occasions where it's just been a tall reach for the ball.
I don't mean to be unkind to Corey McKernan, but it looks as though he's hardly raised a sweat. He's had 5 marks, 9 kicks, but he's kicked 5 goals. Could finish up being the difference between the teams. Voss, the free kick in the middle. Away to Brad Scott. The full forward. They leap high. North Melbourne have the players at ground level. Pickett lost the handle on it. Abraham threads one through to Pike. Look out! Scott's got him. Well done. Abraham double passed. Winston Abraham to the centre of the ground. Scholl drops a sitter. Ripped off him by Lynch. Michael Voss again to set up. Good kick. Hart. Couldn't quite take the mark. Well done, Pickett. Byron Pickett. Because he had a start to the season. Back towards the centre. A juggle. Got taken by Trask. And the umpire now will ball it up.
He has been really an incredibly impressive player. Pickett has only played 1 game prior to this season. Ex-Port Adelaide, only 20 years of age, played a lot of reserves football. But gee, this year he's just looked really safe and solid as that smaller defender, and he just played that so well. Hart had the advantage, but he didn't panic then. Pickett got the ball clear, then followed up for the rebound.
Grant with that quick kick. North Melbourne players are very good at getting their boot to the ball quickly. Bell keeps the ball alive to Rock around the corner to the half-forward line. Scholl just ambles after the ball, along with Lynch, and they'll toss it back in. I thought Voss could have went to the goal square before instead of kicking to Hart. He had Johnson in the goal square.
Yes, you kick to the lead, and if the lead isn't taken, well, then the ball tends to be run out round the flank. That is one advantage of going to the front of the goal square. The
Capuano
ball comes to the ground in a dangerous spot.
Clark has done very well, getting his hands on the ball first. Voss, 24 possessions. The ball thumped away that time by Carey. They'll throw it back in.
A couple of years ago, when Dennis Pagan first started to experiment with Wayne Carey playing at centre-half-back, I always thought he looked very uneasy playing in that centre-half-back position, but having played there now a number of games, really centre-half-forward, centre-half-back, he's a brilliant player in both.
Well, North Melbourne lead by 28 points. Capuano goes up towards Hewitt. So they've got some size, North Melbourne.
You've got to be pretty good to get a game in the 18 at North. Harvey's just come back on the ground off the bench. I thought he must have been hurt.
Yeah.
He's kicked 3 goals in the first half, 5 last week, and he's been warming the bench for about an hour.
There's no doubt that Dennis Pagan plays 22 players. There might be only 18 on the field at any one time, but he just looks to play the whole 22, I reckon.
Marcus Picken brings the ball away, kicks inside 50. Archer's going to get back there, leaves it for Winston Abraham. So the excitement machine's caught. So Chrissy Johnson
Gee, that was lightning.
has kicked
What
4
about a play
goals,
on here?
going for goal number 5.
The ball spilled free in the tackle. What about a play on?
No, well, he didn't actually. He had the chance to dispose of it in the tackle, and it was an incorrect disposal. Didn't hand pass it, didn't kick it, so it's a holding the ball.
That's exactly right, Lee. Because he'd had an opportunity before the tackle, once he is tackled, he must dispose of it by kicking or handball. Because
Such an
he had that
important kick. This is an important kick, John. He's got it. They're still in it. He's kicked 5.
Yeah, sorry, KB, it was an important kick. But yeah, just to go on Lee's point, it was because he'd had that opportunity before the tackle. Once he's had an opportunity and he's then tackled, then he must dispose of it by kicking or handball. There's the opportunity there. He holds back the handball. Then the tackle is laid. He must dispose of it by kicking or handball, not just trying. And there's Chrissy Johnson drilling the ball, which is a fantastic goal in the circumstances.
Well, Johnson's had 9 kicks and kicked 5 goals. Exactly the same stats as Corey McKernan. Different size, same result. Robert Scott goes to ground. Play on, says the umpire. Lions have the numbers. Champion to Voss. Taken high. And he'll get a free kick against Martin Pike. He wants to go on quickly. To centre half forward. Well done to Lawrence. 12.5 minutes left. 22 the difference. Lawrence's kick is marked up on the forward line by Dion Scott.
Yes, Carey came forward to put the pressure on Lawrence, but I think he's looking for... Is it Shannon Grant, I think, who might be Lawrence's opponent, but once Carey came forward to man the mark, then his opponent, Scott, was free and able to be used.
Dion Scott has kicked 2 goals, 1 today. Put the Lions right back in it if he goals here, and he has. So all our viewers in Queensland, don't leave your sets yet.
Well, it's a real test for their fibre, Brisbane. Undoubtedly they came here to play football today. They're ready to give this game a crack, and they pretty well have all day. North got away to the fly, then Brisbane got close, but they can't quite get them on the scoreboard, mainly because North, really, their scoring efficiency is just too great. They've still been able to kick 18 goals, despite Brisbane fairly much dominating around the midfield parts of the ground.
Well, Clark has certainly been getting his hand on the ball first of the centre bouncers. So this time against Capuano, should thump the ball, does at ground level. Scott overruns the ball, so North Melbourne force it forward. Chance this time. Ball taken by Scholl. Finally comes inside 50. Sitting under the ball is Bell. There's a good mark to Picken. It's been very impressive since coming onto the ground. He's kicked a goal. Done a couple of nice things out of defence as well. Ashcroft wants to trap it. Scott hard for support. Bowled over. Good play by Scott, hard up on the boundary line. In fact, that's Welsh and takes it over the line.
A good player, Marcus Ashcroft, but on that occasion he had to take the ball, the bouncing oval ball, which does bobble round a bit, but he wasn't able to take it first grab, and then the pressure came, and the free possession for the Bears ended up in a boundary throw-in.
Capuano got the kick away, but the free kick is going to the Lions. 118 plays 102. It's a 16-point ball game, and the Lions keep on coming. Plenty of time to win this game. Over 11 minutes of action left. Matthew Clark, best and fairest winner from last year, from half-back. Kicks the ball down. Scott at ground level. Back to Lawrence. Caught, thrown to the ground by Grant. They pile on top. Carey goes over the top. Pike gets the ball out to Martin. Chips kicks it out towards Scholl. Bowled over by Lynch. Desperation now for the Lions. Scott comes away, pops it out in front. Good play, finds Leppage on the burst. Goes short. Well set up. Here's Chrissy Johnson, the danger man for North Melbourne. He's kicked 5 goals. He'll be kicking from right on 50, and there's plenty of goal space.
He hasn't had a great game, Justin Leppage, but a couple of times there he set up Johnson to lead into space. Good disposal in the third quarter with a right foot, and then a nice little left footer.
This will drag it back to 10 points. It's coming back. No, it's not. Puts it through for a behind.
Five goals, 3. And here's Johnson watching his
bending.
It was looking like it was coming back, but then it eventually went away at the last moment.
Wayne Carey's just taken his 12th mark, and that's his 20th kick. Now, whether you're for a centre-half back when you're normally punching the ball in defence, that's phenomenal. Dozen marks, 20 kicks.
Yeah, been a very good play today, whichever end of the ground Dennis Page decided to put him.
And the Lions get another one. There's just under 10 minutes left. Taken out of bounds by Pike, and the umpire calls for the throw-in. 15 the difference. Well, they've been beaten in their 3 games by the Bulldogs by 46, by Sydney by 38 points, and last week at home at the Gabba by Melbourne by 13 points. There's a whistle, an over-the-shoulder free kick, and the North fans virtually paid that free kick. The roar was deafening against Clark as he went over the shoulder. Capuano takes the free, short of half forward. Oh, the leapers fail to get the ball. It gets to the back to Peter Bell. Open go for goal. Shannon Grant has a look around and says, yeah, I'll kick this. And he did. So he's kicked 4, and that might be the final nail. Still time, though.
And the ball got over the back. That was the critical effort here. The Brisbane players couldn't knock the ball forward. It came over the back, and then it was really just all North Melbourne players running onto it. And he doesn't miss those kind of goals, Shannon Grant. He knows how to finish when he gets an opportunity.
1 more to equal Wayne Schwass.
124 plays 103. The Kangaroos by 21 points. 4 goals to Shannon Grant. Yes, he swapped last night, booted 5 in Wayne Schwass. So I'm certain the North Melbourne hierarchy pretty happy to see Shannon Grant playing so well at the MCG. Chris Scott through the centre square. Don't give up on the Lions just yet. Chris Johnson thought he might have had the free. Blakey comes away, rockets the ball wide, finds Carey. What a game he's had. It's a beautiful kick to Rock on the half-back flank. The loose player's been set up. He finds Pike, edge of the centre square. He's going to kick the ball long. Shannon Grant wants to run onto the ball as well. He hooks it across his body. Winston Abraham punched away, picked up by Welsh, hooks it around the corner. I think the youngster's kicked it. He has.
Yes, and we saw the type of setup. We haven't looked for. We can't quite see it, but there's no one forward here of centre-half forward for Brisbane, and they just, for North Melbourne, I should say, and they kicked the ball into the space, and really they ran onto the ball, and Welsh was the one. It was a bit like Shanahan, Grant, the previous goal, the ability to run onto it, into that space in that forward 50.
Can the Lions come back again? It's a big ask now. Clark wins in the middle, sharked by Rock. Grant charges very hard at it. Just comes up short. Hand pass out to Hart from Chris Scott. Champion paddling for himself. Voss is there. Champion bowled over by Pike. Free kick, Champion. He was dead 1 minute, but now he says, okay, it's my free. I'm okay. Oh, I tell you what. Didn't like the look of it. Oh, Champion's kick to centre half forward. Martin's hand pass to Anthony Stevens. He's had just one of those rare, quiet days for him. Just 8 kicks. Amazing. McKernan has kicked 5 goals. Back at centre wing with Dick Voss. Carey, underground hand pass to McKernan. That's flashy stuff. He is just so good. He's toying with them, Wayne Carey. How about that?
21 kicks and 12 marks to the King. He's also kicked a goal. Corey McKernan on screen. He's had a big game. He's booted 5. So the big guns are firing for North Melbourne. Got some young players, Welsh and Hewitt and Harvey. Pretty promising. Capuano back from injury. They're going to be tough to beat. Scott pumps the ball forward. Champion goes off the ground. Tristan Lynch comes back on. Lawrence so good in the first half. A little bit quieter in the second. Taken away by Anthony Stevens. Runs to the half-forward line. Again, just tumbles the ball forward. Not the best of kicks. Taken by Kennedy. He's got a loose player in Hart. He's inside the centre square. Lynch has just come off the bench so they can open it up. Tristan Lynch. Time for think music. Daylight is second. weighs up the options, goes very short and finds Black.
Yeah, thought his way through well then, Lynch. He didn't know really where he was going to have the space to run through the 50-metre line, and Archer came forward off Black just to pressure the kick a bit, but got caught in between. So then it was intelligent play by Lynch just to chip it across to Black.
You see Tristan Lynch there, just picking the option. Black is reported to be a beautiful kick. This is a floater, and he's missed. He'd be disappointed with that.
It was the lean back kick for goal. In general field play, you drive through the kick and get your body motion going forward, but Black just leant back off the back foot and hooked the kick.
And you'd have to think it'd be a miracle if the Lions got to get up and win it now against the might of North Melbourne. Oh, especially with marks like that. And this boy has already taken
He can jump.
A candidate for Mark of the Year in round 1, and Welsh might have a candidate in round 4 after that one. Fantastic. Scott Welsh playing just his 6th game, and here's his mark again.
They're a good marking side, North Melbourne.
With the ability to jump and hold that third man up mark.
About the same spot in the ground where he took the mark on the Friday night against the Eagles in round 1. Ball's out of play.
Got a feeling, though, that mark in round 1 was one of the marks of the year that actually wasn't a mark, because I think he pulled it out of the hands of the guy, the Eagles player in front of him. But
was it paid as a mark?
I guess if the umpire pays it as a mark, it's a mark.
Then it qualifies.
It qualifies. 130, plays 104. Bell comes forward. McKernan sees the ball go over the line. There's Dennis Pagan, Norman Dare on his right. As we look at the screen, former coach of the Brisbane Lions, Mark Dawson.
Wouldn't know much about these players. There's been a fair turn.
Oh, fair turn up. Yes, a lot of players have been turned over at Brisbane. Rock from the pocket. Kicks it straight up in the air. McKernan has marked it. The distance?
10 metres up.
It's there.
Might ask John Russo that. John, is 10 metres up in the air qualifies 10 metres?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
It's got to be 10 metres of travel.
From A to, yeah, right, along the ground.
You happy with that 10 metres, John?
I haven't paced it out yet, KB. I'll do it on the way over to the other side of the ground.
Oh, maybe.
So McKernan just chipped the ball back to Rock. Kicked the goal in the second quarter. And you would think this would put it out of reach of the Lions. Matthew Clark's coming off and Beau McDonald coming on. So Anthony Rock gets pretty close to the man on the mark, puts it across the face of goals, through for a behind.
We've got Matty Clark for 15 hit-outs. He came into this game averaging 30.
Have a look at this one. There he is. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good 10 metres along the ground, maybe 15 even.
Now the Lions working down the smoker stand wing. Sean Hart to half forward. Dion Scott. Carey punches away from him. Blakey gets back to help.
So left footer.
Black. That ball stayed in. Still with Black. Puts on the gas. And kicks. What a goal!
Well, they said he's a good kick, Drew.
He missed the one in front, the one from the crowd.
Almost got the off-swinger happening, didn't it? Just came across. It was a good effort to keep the ball in. Keeping the ball alive in the forward line. That's what it's all about here, Black. Try and keep it alive. It's in defence, let it run over. But in attack, try and keep it in play. It just did that. And then he just accelerated. Thought, I've got the space here. And just a little inside-out kick. It was a fantastic effort.
North Melbourne by 21 points. Still 5 minutes of action left. Capuano thumps the ball forward. Hewitt looked like he was held for mine. The back of the pack, taken away by Scott, gives it back to Trask. They come away from the half back line. Another quick goal would make it interesting. Leading out in front of the ball is Black. Paddles the ball along in front of Scholl. Then kept the ball alive. Trask back to Black. Now they'll toss it back in.
McDonald back in the ruck. But interesting, John Norrie, his decision. He's actually done pretty well in the ruck, I reckon, McDonald. But he's certainly, for one of the better tap ruckmen in the game, Matthew Clark hasn't spent a lot of time as the key ruckman.
Capuano versus McDonald. Knocked on by Pike. But the whistle is gone, and the free kick is going to Dion Scott.
Paid by the umpire,
Make that
who
Voss.
wasn't in charge of that area.
So Voss goes short, finds Sean Hart outside of 50. So he kicks to the goal square. So a chance for the high flyers. Bradshaw couldn't take it on the second grab. Punched through by Byron Pickett. And they'll toss it back in.
He makes good decisions down there, Pickett, doesn't he? The ability just to know when to punch, when to take possession, just when to spoil.
Just 15 metres around from goals. Lynch to the front. Great tap. Voss should kick a goal. Thrown over the line. It's a good tackle.
And just while you're down there, John Russell, that came off his knee. As long as it comes off the shin or below, it would count as a kick. Is that true?
Knee or below, Lee.
Knee or below?
Yep.
Well, I reckon that was pretty close to the knee or below.
I thought he might have been over the line.
Oh, maybe over the line, yeah.
And that was Pickett again. He laid the tackle and really put him into the fence. Wayne Carey just cruising to full time here with 21 kicks, 12 marks. And by the looks of it, another victory to the Kangaroos. McDonald did well. Pickett, another kick to Carey. Short of centre wing, the mark to Rock. To half forward, Abraham. It's ball behind by Trask. Comes to Grant, he wants another one, but he gives it off to Winston Abraham. It's on the 50. Abraham, it's a free kick here to the Lions.
Penalised for a throw, Drew.
Yeah. He took about 20 metres just to try and pick up that ball. Never quite grasped it. Scott, Brad, Lepage, Justin. To half forward. Archer's lost it. Dion Scott the hand pass. Here's a go. Ashcroft into Brad Scott. 50 metres out. Well, he didn't kick through it, but was it touched? And Pickett again. Well, he's had a punch, a tackle, and a fingertip in the last minute.
Yeah, very good defensive instincts. He knows how to get his hand on the ball to spoil. He tried, was unfortunate, Lawrence. He just couldn't quite affect the Shepherd without pushing too hard in the back.
Voss the crummer right on 50. This will be a goal coming up. Bradshaw goes bang, pops it through, and he's kicked 4. So as the time clock ticks away, just under 3 minutes left, 118 plays, 131. So that's 13 points lead. They can still win it.
Well, yes, there is certainly time. They're going to have to not do anything wrong, and they've got to obviously stop North from scoring as well. But Michael Voss has been a terrific player today. He's basically just gradually, as the game's gone on, just been able to get more of the ball than Martin Pike, which has been the matchup that North Melbourne put in.
The centre bounce is important, Drew.
Yep.
They need to get this one.
28 possessions to Voss. And there's a free kick in the middle. It was going to North. Advantage paid. Up to full forward already. Punch to the front. It comes to Harvey, the goal sneak. Hand pass to Scholl. He slides one across. That's terrific play. And a goal to McKernan. He can't stop kicking goals.
Hewitt.
That's Hewitt. Well, Hewitt's kicked 2. And just as you were still giving the Lions a chance, North bob up and get another.
Well, it's been the story of the game, really. Brisbane have kicked 17 goals, 16. I mean, that's a good day's work. But North just, their scoring efficiency is one of those things that has just made them such a good team. Their ability to score well from the number of scoring shots. They go down the centre corridor, they keep the ball running on into space, and 21 goals, 11 behind is a terrific effort.
Every time the Lions get closely, North Melbourne wins the ball out of the centre.
Yep.
And then kicks an easy goal. They've done it all day. Tristan Lynch got a bad bounce. Voss has tried very, very hard today. 28 possessions to the skipper.
That's right.
Tristan Lynch is on the half-back flank. To Scott, to his brother and Chris. Great Scott. Kicks into the man. Hart from centre wing. Inside 50. Juggling mark, not taken by Dion Scott. Taken away by Carey. The King finds Pike on the half-back flank. So North Melbourne again. They kick the ball so long. They go from defence into attack straight away. McKernan pushing and shoving with Dick Voss. Gets support this time. Dick Voss weighs up his options, goes to Lynch, looks to be in slow motion. Dances back, he's got a free kick. Goes short, finds Trask. So he's at the true centre-half back position. So the youngster just making his way in the game. A trail by 19 points. Time's not on their side. Lynch gives him an option. So Tristan Lynch from the back half of the centre square down towards 50. Pushing and shoving was Archer, but playing in front was Alistair Lynch.
Scots and Lynches everywhere.
Unloads a big torp. It's dropping short. McCartney happy to see the ball just bounce over the line. Looks like he may have hurt his hamstring as well.
Yeah, that's the classic sign of the hamstring twinge, unless it's back related. But yeah, he's off the ground, so might be a couple of weeks for Alistair Lynch.
Was he trying to kick a goal from 75 metres?
I think so. I think he was just having a crack at it and kicking it as far as he could.
Hoping to at least lob it in the square.
It'd be pretty expensive then.
Yes, that telltale cramping twinge in the back of the hamstring, the thing that every footballer dreads.
Voss with a quick snap has put it over the line on the full.
No doubt at all it is a hamstring, fellas. The medical staff have gone straight to the back of his leg, and Lynchie's pointed it out to them. Craig
Starcevich on the phone there, one of Lee Matthews' premiership players from 1990. Big pack of players. McDonald went up. Chris Johnson was caught high. Well, he's been so good today, Chris Johnson. He's booted 5 goals, a goal in the first quarter, 2 in the second term, 1 in the third, and also 1 in this last quarter as well. He's too far out to score. He's a good 60 metres, so he lobs it in the square. The high flyer looked like it was Bradshaw, off hands. Brings up behind.
Well, I've seen 2 losers in the last 2 days, Hawthorn and Brisbane, and neither of them deserved to lose.
Well, that's the trouble when you're a struggling team to get wins on the board. You seem to have honourable losses.
Yeah.
It just keeps not quite happening. You just can't quite get over the line. They're as if the gods are transpiring to make sure you keep losing every week, no matter how well you play or how hard you try.
Yeah. And, of course,
when you look at the league ladder, they don't have honourable next to the losses, do they?
That's it.
4 straight losses, both of them. 19 seconds left in the game.
And worse than that, when you start stringing together a whole lot of losses, you even start thinking honourable losses are better than bad losses, you know.
Well done, McDonald. McDonald. Picken gets the hand pass out to Hart. Not a bad kick to the goal square. White wrestles for the ball. It comes off the hands and through for a minor score. So at quarter time, North led by 22. It was only 7 at half time. They were back out to a 21-point lead at 3/4 time, and it's now back to 17. So they got level at one stage, the Brisbane Lions, but they couldn't quite snatch a win here, and the Kangaroos have gone on to win, and the Lions still looking for their first win of the season. And Lynch hurt himself in the last 2 minutes.
Well, there's no doubt, Drew, that if the Lions can produce that kind of form, their first win is not far off. North Melbourne are a good team. They had pretty close to full strength on field. McKernan kicked goals up forward. Carey was good at centre-half forward or centre-half back, but the Lions' midfield was exceptional, and really it didn't work for them today. A lot of scoring shots. North were very accurate, but in the end, really, if that effort is to be repeated, the wins will come.
Final scores: North Melbourne 21-11, 137, beating the Brisbane Lions 17-18, 1.